What was the hip and trendy method of communication at the turn of the century? The postcard. Though the picture postcard had been around since the mid-19th century, it wasn't until the early 1900s that the medium really took off. Britain was full of postcard collectors, postcard journals, postcard clubs. Each year, 866 million were sent through the mail. City skylines, children, royal families, cars, all went through the post, going from vendor to sender to recipient. Given that postcards were a perfect canvas for issues of pop culture and politics, it's no wonder that the suffragette often served as the punchline. Davidson Brothers, C.W. Faulkner & Company, Carlton Publishing Company, Raphael Tuck & Sons. Top postcard producers printed millions of cards each month, touching on an array of topics, including women in pursuit of the vote. Take, for example, the image captioned, "Now, madam, will you go quietly or shall I have to use force?" Here we see an angry, masculine-looking woman who has apparently interrupted this meeting. Where she expected to find support, she instead is greeted with hostility from the audience. The men here look both angry and amused. The placards at her feet tell us exactly what she was fighting for. This image takes the stereotype of the masculine woman, which we explored in episode 6, and uses it to comedic and profitable ends. Raphael Tuck & Sons, one of the most popular postcard producers of the day, perpetuated the stereotype of the unwomanly suffragette through postcards such as this one, which we saw last episode. In this image, a beady-eyed and bespectacled woman grumpily prepares a Votes for Women banner. This is part of a series of postcards by Tuck & Sons portraying unpleasant, aggressive suffragettes acting out in public. If one wished to, they could collect and send them all. In doing so, one made a statement, both as a consumer and a citizen. A woman with a vote is an absurd, even laughable concept. The publishers of postcards, on the whole, did not print their material with a political agenda in mind. Most were not particularly for or against women's vote. What mattered to them was if this humor was profitable. And it was. Humor at the expense of the suffrage movement was marketable, and these kind of postcards were printed and distributed for many years. Suffragettes sent postcards too, and wanted to support the movement while keeping up their correspondence. The Artists' Suffrage League and the Suffrage Atelier designed and printed ephemera in support of the movement. In this set of cards, suffragettes parody the children's poem, The House That Jack Built, with The House That Man Built. In playful verse, the narrator explains how women have campaigned for the vote, and the good things that will come from women's enfranchisement. Suffrage postcards also illustrated the ways in which women, and Britain at large, were hurt by government policies. In this card by the Artists' Suffrage League, the artist uses an old and a new bicycle to show how granting women electoral equality is the best way to help the nation progress. By buying, sending, and receiving postcards in favor of or making fun of the suffrage movement, people engaged with politics. The idea of a simple postcard having so much meaning now may seem kind of silly. But who knows, maybe in 100 years someone will be looking back on the videos and articles and quizzes you share on a day-to-day basis and finding connections between social movements and personal opinions.